kind who takes your time to help a stranger in the rain. There's a place
out there for people like you.
if you stand up for those that are on their knees, and if you try to be the change you wanna see, if you shine a little light, give light to the ones who've lost their way. There's a place
Out there for people like you.
I heard up there the streets are made of gold. Oh,
And when you get there, there's a hand to hold. I believe
when your days down here are through, there's a place
out there for people like you.
again. There's a place.
Out there for people like you.
A very warm welcome. You're most definitely watching 3T TV, which is Thika's #1 online news channel, where we are telling the Thika story as it is. Today, I'm bringing you 3T Entertainment. This is where we feature mostly young artists who are, we don't call them upcoming, they're already established. We want to find out the struggles that they have faced to get to where they are, and to encourage anybody else out there who has a talent. You probably don't know where to start. My name is Juliet Modoni, and I hope that by the end of this segment, if you haven't subscribed to this wonderful channel, you are going to do so. So let us dive right into it. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for hosting us
You're welcome.
within very short notice.
Yes.
Now, I'd like you to start by an introduction. Let us know who you are and
Yeah.
what it is that you do.
My name is Michael Bundi. I'm a dancehall and reggae artist, and I just want to say that I'm very happy to have you here. It makes me really glad. I was actually very happy when I got the message, and because I always like to share information with people. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dance hall.
Yeah. Dancehall, it's like the black sheep of the music family.
It actually is.
Yeah.
It's very rare to come across, a dance hall artist,
Yes.
which you are.
Yes.
Before we even get right into the music,
Mhm.
give us a brief background about yourself, your schooling.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was born and raised in Meru, a place called Moroga. And I used to love music from, I think I was born singing, because my mother used to say at the age of 2, while I was on her back, she went to fetch firewood in the forest, I was singing at the top of my lungs, and the people that were with her would tell her, ambia huyo mtoto anyamaze, like nyamazisha huyo mtoto, because kitambo, there used to be those thugs in the forest that would attack people, but I wouldn't stop, I would keep singing. There was a song in my heart, and after that, I just joined the normal school, primary, studied with others, still singing, but I was mostly rejected from choirs. They used to say I used to sing very badly.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They used to say I'm a bad singer, so every time I tried to join the school choir, I was thrown out. So one day I decided, because you guys are throwing me out of the school choir, I'll form my own choir. And then I formed my own choir in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So that choir, I managed it. I was good with management skills, so I managed that choir so well that the head of the school said, this is the school choir now. Like, the one that was the school choir is no longer the school choir. And that was in primary school. It went so well, and then I got into high school.
Mm-hmm.
So getting into high school, I got into Nkubo High School. That was my first high school, Kuingia. And I think that's where things went wrong, Sasa.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was exposed to a different kind of people. I was exposed to bullies. I was exposed to so many hardships back then, and I had a tough upbringing, which I didn't mention. I had a very tough upbringing, which I grew in a very violent family, I would say. So when I got there, I was the kind of guy who is so timid, so shy, and everyone picks on me, So I was so scared, bullied time and again, and when I got into Form 2, still in Kubo High School, I got a chance to sing on stage. And the moment I went on stage and sang my first song, the Form 4s, Wayo Shule, they came and said, now we are going to protect you. Like, no one is going to touch you because you're singing well for us now. You won't be bullied anymore. But unfortunately, it continued, and I got into depression at Form 1, you know. And all this time, I'm still writing music because it's the only thing that's been constant in my life. So I'm getting into depression, things are getting bad. I'm trying to talk to teachers and parents, nothing is working. I remember I was seeing a doctor in Nairobi because I had an issue back in high school that would have people bully me a lot, which was bedwetting. And that was as a result of psychological fear, you know. So at one point when the doctor gave me medicine to calm me down, back then, he told me not to take more than a certain amount. But then one day I was so stressed, I just took all the medicine, and that was the first time I found myself in hospital. That's where my life started crumbling now. Educational, music, everything started crumbling. Everything went wrong. I found myself in a hospital. I think I was in a coma for almost like 3 days. Woke up surrounded by my family. Luckily, they noted something was wrong and they decided to change my school. So they brought me to Nairobi.
Now you're in Form 2.
Now I'm in Form 2, yes. So they bring me to Nairobi where now life becomes great. Hizi ni shule hakuna kuchapo. Tunakula chapo. Kuna githeri anymore. Tunakula na walimu, tunatetewa the same na walimu. It was
soft life.
Beautiful. Yeah, it was soft life. Me, I love soft life mpaka sasa. So because of the good environment, my grades became great. And I was doing well musically, I was doing well discipline-wise, and in class too. Then one day, while I was still staying in Nairobi, I remember it was on a prize giving day, and my dad came from Meru, and he was so happy because I was named the best student in the school. But then I wanted to hear him say something about the music, but he said things just about education. You have done so well, education. He didn't speak about the music. I was frustrated because I wanted him to see that side of me so badly. And at that point now, I felt like, sasa mbona nasoma. Mimi nilikuwa nasoma ndio nifurahishe baba, you know? And then nafanya music ndo akiona nimesoma vizuri anipushi music. And I remember it got really bad after my dad left for Meru because I was staying with a relative who now told me, now you have to choose. You can do these 2 things. You finish school and get good grades, or you go back to your father. And I said I can do both. He said no. So he said choose one. You just have one choice. I said if you give me education and music, I'll choose music. And then that's the point I was asked to leave.
And I want to believe you were excelling in both.
Yes.
In class and in music.
Yes.
But you were being asked to make a choice.
Yes. Yeah, I was asked to make a choice.
Now, you said that you can do both.
Yeah.
And that was it for you.
That was it for me. Which I think was not a smart move. They came to tell me later that they regret doing that. Because if they had supported me earlier, they probably feel like I would have been farther than I am right now. So I went back home. My dad was obviously frustrated, living from school to school. I was thrown in between relatives, moved to different schools. I think I studied in like 5 high schools, being expelled from some, suspended from some, and all that. But it was all just because I really wanted to sing. That's all I wanted. And sometimes we as children, or even children, can express things in a way that it seems like maybe it's rebellion, but it just needs the parent to actually see what that is. Because if my parents had said like do education and then when on Saturdays go to the studio, I would have been great. I would have loved that, you know. Yeah, so I finished high school, and
before we even get to you finishing high school, there's an incident where you had run away from school.
Yes.
And you came across a police officer.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that.
Yeah. That was the time that I had been chased from Nairobi and went to Meru. So when I went there, life became hard. You know, I was used to soft life. chapati. Now I was back to githeri, and I'm not saying githeri is bad. I just love chapati, you know. So the life became so hard. In this new school, the teachers were not even like the same with the students. You could not walk to the staff room like the other school. So I was frustrated. Like, why are we being treated like this? So I was trying to bring a revolution by telling them how we were treated back there, but it was not working. And I decided one day to walk to the gate and tell the guy who was guarding the gate that I've been sent to buy medicine. But then I had like 200 in my pocket, and I just went, nikapanda matatu, headed for Meru Town. Kufika Meru Town nikachukua gari ingine, headed to Nairobi. I don't know even what I was thinking, because I only had very little money. So I just nikashukia place inaitwa Chogori, na hapo ndio pesa iliishia. So I went and sat down and started trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I wanted to walk to Nairobi, to the producer who I had met when I was in Nairobi, because I just wanted to record a new song. That's what I wanted. But while seated there, this guy comes and starts asking me, hey, how are you, where are you going to, what's up, you know. And I told him my parents live in Kawasukari, Nairobi. So he said, me I'm going there, kwanza I live there. Si uingie kwa gari, I take you straight to your parents. I told him no, because I know my parents are not there. Told him no. I told him I'll just wait and I catch a matatu. He said no, I'll take you. And then he said najua umetoroka shule, and I'm a policeman. So story yako imeishia hapa. Akanishika, and then akanipeleka hiyo police station ya hapo around Chogoria. Called my dad. Akamuliza, do you know that your child is coming to Nairobi? My dad said, I don't even live in Nairobi. Wow. You know. So it was a really tough period. You
had a whole, you know, your high school life is a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's also this incident about you know, registering for KCSE.
Yeah, unfortunately I think I was still also kind of childish, because I'm not happy with some of the decisions I was making, especially my parents had paid for that exam, and on that day that's when I escaped school, on the day we were supposed to register. So I was gonna miss out from doing the final exam. It was only my mom who rushed to find another place where I could get registered quickly, you know. Yeah. But
you were still running away, getting into music.
Yes.
But luckily, at least you got a school, so you got to finish high school.
Yes.
Then after high school?
After high school, my dad paid for me a course, a 3-month course where I learned music production, and I basically learned to do the basic things. I didn't learn much. And then the producer who was there told me, you're going to be successful. I can see that in you. But he said, but before you become successful, he said something so weird. He said, before you become successful, make sure you're married.
Like, seriously?
Yes. But actually, what he was saying later made sense to me. Because actually, before I became famous, I was already with my firstborn, you know. Because he said, like, it's gonna, like, ground you in a way so that you don't, like, you have responsibilities that you can focus on.
There's a bit of truth there, because you need grounding with all the fame and all that. You need to be grounded, which now makes a lot of sense.
Dreadlocks can't live in a
tenement, yeah.
Dreadlocks can't live in a
tenement, yeah.
Anatuma. I say dreadlocks can't live in a
tenement, yeah.
Dreadlocks can't live in a
tenement, yeah.
Anatuma. I never
ask you
nothing where you
tell me.
I beg you
Daily.
free season still you keep
Talking.
ooh yeah. You know my granny tell me from your little baby, he that keepeth his mouth shall stay out of
Problems.
ooh yeah. Some say oh dread, yeah. Me say your mouth I go put you in a
Problems.
Yeah. So me sing oh dread, yeah. I said your mouth I go put you in a
Problems.
Oh, you've done other things before. You've done other odd jobs, let me call them that.
Yes.
Before you got into music. Tell us about that.
So after I finished learning the music, I looked for a place to stay in Nairobi, and I just wanted to be independent, you know. And when I set up in my first house, I didn't have a job, so I just talked to the guy who was building the houses back then, and he said, well, you can be a caretaker here. When you become a caretaker, you don't have to pay the rent, because the rent is 2,000 and your salary will be 2,000, so that's cancelled, you know. So I was staying there. I was in my comfort zone. I'm not paying rent. I'm fine. Can you imagine how it feels living in a house not paying rent in Nairobi? That's like a heaven. But then what I didn't realize was that being in a comfort zone is not a good thing. And at that point, ilifika mali, the people who we were living in Koploti, they started, it's almost like I had a vision. So I used to talk about my vision. Sometimes people are like, unajifanya, like, you know, like, usituambie, like, you're too young, you can't tell us anything. So they started doing, like, wananifanyia madharau. So when I'm going to wash those lavatories and all that, they used to make sure they are blocked completely. So I used to struggle so much, and it became shameful for me, because it was not the normal job anymore. It was now being frustrated by people. And I remember at one point I told the landlord, I'm not doing this anymore, and he said, well, now you have to give me 4K. I said, it's not 2K again, no, it's 4K. If you don't give me 4K, you leave that house. At that point, while he's saying that, I'm already expecting my firstborn. And I remember at one day he came. It was around, the baby was almost 8 months, almost being born. And I remember he said, I'm giving you 3 days to vacate this house, because you refuse to be, like, to comply with what I'm saying. Because alikuwa ananiambia go and lock nyumba ya ule mtu ajalipa. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I don't know how to do that. So I was given 3 days to vacate. I don't have money. All I had in my account was 50 shillings. And in my mind, najiambia, because I was staying in a small room, ilikuwa mabati. But then I was telling myself, me, I want to go to a 1 bedroom. At that point, I can't even pay that room. But I had that dream. So at that point, I remember my dad had bought me a sound card for production. And I put it on sale online. But I put it for a very high price. A price high enough to pay for 1 bedroom, the deposit, and settle there and have money to spend for that month. Luckily, when I went to sell that sound card, because it was just 1 day, and the landlord had said, I'll call boys and they'll throw your equipment outside. On that day, I remember I left the baby mother to my son in tears, because we didn't have a way. And back then, now you can go to your parents, because no one told you to start a family at that age. You're on your own. Because I called my family and they said, no, you can't come home. She called her family, said, no, can't come home. So it's up to you now. Remember when I went there to sell that sound card, I met this very rich guy. I think it was just God's grace. And I had told him the sound card goes for 20,000. And he said, I'll give you 12,000. You can't lie to me. I know that sound card cost this amount. He said, my son, I ship things from abroad. I will buy it for my son if you don't sell it to me at 12,000. And when I got into that car, I told him, it's not 12,000, it's 20. He said, no, I know. So I was trembling, because I knew the only thing I wanted was that house, so that my kid can live well. And then when he's taking out the money to give me, he starts counting, and he counts 20, 22, 24. He gives me 24K. He gave me way than I asked for, and way more than he had said he would pay for. I almost believed he would pay 12,000, you know. And I came home, and the moment I told them that I have money, they were just crying, you know. And the next day, before we knew it, we moved to a new house. And life started well.
So you used to sell
equipment.
Equipment.
Yes.
That is how you started.
Yes, I still do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I started. I used to sell mics, keyboards. I still do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now at least you've moved to a bigger house.
Yeah.
And then now, how did your music now start flourishing?
I was doing music, but I was not getting airplay. As you know, airplay really helps an artist. That's what makes you known, when you get airplay. So there was a guy who approached me that I am like always eternally grateful to. His name was Dennis, and Selector Deno, and he came through and said, "I will do videos for you for free. All you have to do is work hard, because I believe in you." And the first video we did went on TV, and that's it. I started getting airplay without even like sending the songs to them. Yeah.
You've sung with your son. We see you singing with your son.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else in your family that sings?
Yes. Well, my dad sings. My two sisters sing. I have a brother who sings. So around 4 people sing.
But all these people were against you getting into music. How do you explain that?
Well, I call it, and I don't want it to sound I don't want to sound wrong or to be misquoted as but I think sometimes it's some kind of mental slavery in thinking that music is not good enough for someone, you know. And if I didn't have the music in me, I would have been probably the one telling them that this cannot make you flourish, you know. Like, people try this, but you know, you need something solid, because that was the argument, and it makes sense. Some people try music, it doesn't work, you know. Others try, it works. But for me, I believed it has to work or work. There wasn't an option, because if it doesn't work for me, I say me, I don't know where I would be, because that's hiyo ndio imenifikisha hapa
mahali huko.
Yeah.
You are a Grammy nominated musical artist.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I was featured in an album by an amazing person named Etana. I used to love Etana's music a lot, and I remember we would have discussions in my studio with my friends and telling them I would really love to do a song with Etana. But then we would be like, how can that happen? Like, it can never happen, you know. But then I was saying, one day I think I'll do a song with her. So when she came to Kenya, what I did was I did a song. And actually, the story behind that Grammy nomination is a very, very sad story. Because I was with my son and his mom, and we had been hungry for almost, I think, a week. I was at 1 million views. I was getting 1 million views on YouTube, but I didn't have money because of the covers, and the owners of the songs were monetizing the songs, so there was no money coming in. So there you go, you're famous on the streets, people know you, but you have nothing. I remember we were so broke, and on that day, that specific day, Etana was coming. The next day, on that night, we didn't even, like, on that night, I didn't even have now money for my son or anything. All these other days, I would make sure I'm the only one that stays angry. But on these other days, I would make sure that they are okay. But on this day, even them, they were not okay. They slept hungry, you know. And in the morning, I was like, okay, I think people are gonna do some backlash on me for doing this. Doing a song, telling someone I want to do a song with them. It's almost like people would say you're begging someone to do a song with you. But then I was like, I have nothing to lose. No one is helping me now. I'm suffering. I might just as well do it and put it out. So I just went to the mic. And I remember I didn't even write it. I just sang it from my heart. Every word.
What's the title of the song?
A Song for Etana. It used to go like, always dreamed of collaborating with Etana someday. Yeah. Maybe not today, not tomorrow, but me know it'll go happen someday. Yeah. But sing say, someday it'll go happen someday. Someday it'll go happen someday. Someday it'll go happen someday. Listen to my prophecy. Si wadanganyi jo, Wakenya mziki ni ngori. Jana nililala njaa, na niko na views milioni. Kasi imeisha, na maji imeisha. Landlord anabisha, mziki tundo nilipakisha. So when I did that, I put it out there. And I don't know, but I would say it's God's grace, because Kenyans made that thing get to Etana. I said, hashtag Ifiki Etana on Twitter. And Kenyans didn't disappoint as usual. Before I knew it, Etana's management was calling me. So Etana's manager called me, and then he said, come to Ole Sereni Hotel right now. Mimi niko na fare. I have not. kuja kuwa na maji hata kwa nyumba, there's been no water, so hata hakuna shower mtu amepiga. So anasema I'm calling people, I'm like, unaweza nitafutia 50 tu nifike tao, nitatembea hiyo part ingine. So nikapata mtu akanipea 50, and then when I went mpaka wale Sereni, I had to walk a certain distance. So when I got there, I remember I wasn't looking good, you know, dirty clothes, not taking a shower. When I get there, this lady who has never met me embraces me and hugs me to a point that I almost felt scared because well, I didn't expect this to happen. I thought that the reception that was gonna come was gonna be cold, or probably she's gonna be scared about what I'm, you know, unapata msee ametoka place haujui, so you might be scared, but she treated me so well. She told me that one day when we do a song together, I will remember that day, and she said never tell this story to anyone until we do a song and you succeed, and you'll tell that story of that day. And I remember she even paid for my cab to come back. Like, she was so nice. And I honestly learned that I should treat my fellow artists nicely, because the treatment that I was getting from my fellow artists in Kenya, kwanza wenye nilikuwa nafanya covers zao, was just terrible treatment, you know. They don't talk to you nicely, they treat you badly, they call you telling you to pull down the songs, you know. And I was like, Maze, why should a foreigner treat me nicer than a local artist, you know? Yeah.
So, Etana, you worked with her. How was that experience?
It was amazing. It was quite professional. And basically what happened is she went and stayed for about 2 years in Jamaica. She worked on an album that was called Reggae Forever. And that was the first, I think that was her first Grammy nomination. And I used to talk to her and say, when are we going to do a song? And I didn't want to pressure her so much, and I did also want to back off to a point that she forgets. And she said, I'll never forget you, Michael. Your reggae stands out. Like, it was the real reggae. It's not like fake reggae, you know? And she just sent me a song. She said, I'll send you a song and you can record. Luckily, I had my studio here. So I just recorded, sent back the files. It was mixed and mastered professionally, and the album came out. Pamoja.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You've talked about covers. Do you only do covers, or do you do other songs?
I do a lot of original songs. Currently on my YouTube, I have around 133 songs. 60 or 50 are covers. The other 70 or 80 are pure original songs. But my brand was established through the covers. So people, even when I do an original song, people say, this is a cover. Whose cover is this? So that's what I've been trying to change. Yeah. Do
you remember your first ever cover, the one that now?
Yes, I remember. It was actually called it was called Malaika by Yashinsky. That was the first one that became very successful. Yeah, that's the one that opened the doors for the others. And then I did Baby Love by Otile Brown. That one got to 1.7 million views. That blew up, like, you know, yeah.
Jumpdown Shufflers.
Yeah, Jumpdown Shufflers.
Let's talk about them.
Jumpdown Shufflers is the best thing that ever happened to me. Those are the people that held my hand when I was down, and I usually have no fear to say it, and I just send much love to them. Basically, Jumpdown Shufflers made videos for me. They played my music, they marketed my music, because unajua, especially in reggae and dancehall, ukitaka kuwa successful lazima streets zikuwe zinakucheza. You can't just be played on TV and think you're successful. Unaweza kuwa successful kwa TV, lakini ukienda kwa streets watu hawakutambui. So the clubs, the tuvinyozi, the places, you know, the places watu ignore, the motorbikes, all those places, uko ndio nilikuwa nachezwa. Actually, that's what made the career epic sana. Because nilipata kwa street nikienda, because nakumbuka Jumpdown Shufflers walinifanyia song inaitwa Reggae 2, and the guy from Jumpdown Shufflers who mentored me, Selector Deno, he said create merchandise and start selling. And I remember kwa streets I would sell t-shirts, and actually that made me even stable financially. So I owe it all to them. Yeah.
Selector Deno.
Yes.
Now, talking of collabos, would you like to collaborate with any musician?
Yeah.
Locally, internationally?
Locally, uh, locally I would, but not the successful ones already. I collaborate with the artists that I'm mentoring, the ones that I have here right now. Those are the people that I really believe in. Because I try to approach the big ones, even the ones who are in the reggae industry. And it's sad to say, because if you look at Jamaica, if you look at Beres Hammond did a song with Popcorn. And he takes him as his own son. He's a legend, but he tries to mentor him and to like give him advice, you know. But here in Kenya, you reach out to someone and they just tell you keep doing what you're doing now. What is that? Like, if you keep doing what you're doing, probably you don't even know zile njia watu pitia ndio wafike a certain place. So I got tired of even asking them until I even said, no, I don't want collabos with the successful ones. Let me work with the ones who are coming up, the ones who are coming up right now. As for international, I have done a couple. Even on my latest album, I did a song with Jamaican artist Delando, who is very big there. I'm looking forward to doing something with Chris Martin and Romain Vago soon. Because, you know, me, I realized that let me work with the people that want to work with me. I can't force it. If Jamaica loves my vibe or Tanzania loves my vibe, then I'll go there, you know, and work with the ones that want to work with me. Yeah.
No, I totally understand your struggle, because being a creative, it's good to have a mentor, somebody who's been there, who will guide you.
Yes.
Usikue we unafikiria hivi ndivyo kunaenda, but that is really not what is happening.
Yeah. Sky. That is what youths do today. What me say? Yeah. Oh, before they stand up firm on their feet. But if you keep on what you all are, you will end up. So skylarking, whoa. Yeah, that is what youths do today. Mama say, sing louder, yeah, before they stand up firm on their feet. Yeah, a little work, and earn their bread honestly, giving you a good job.
MC
I love it.
Why that sigh?
Yes. I was recently sent a certain payment that was sent to everyone. Everyone was sent the same payment, I think. We were sent 1,215.
You need a payment here a month or a year or
That's for all the time. Maybe that's the first time they paid me.
Wow.
For all the songs that I've had play on TV, countless, even original songs. That's what they could give us. Which still does not make sense to me, because, like I say, we should have some very good management when it comes to royalties, because you can't pay everyone equally, because people don't get the same amount of airplay, right? And maybe they're saying, like, let's divide this so that everyone can be happy. But that's just not fair. You should have a system where you are able to account for everyone that plays the music. So if this radio plays Bundi's song 10 times, you submit that every day to this royalty company. So they're able to keep track of how many times you've been played. So who has been played more, they get the bigger share. Who hasn't been played, they get the lesser share. So I don't even look towards MCSK anymore, because I even lost faith in them, actually. I look towards, and I advise other artists to look at distribution companies like CD Baby and all those companies that monetize music, because I realize those ones even pay me more than MCSK. Like, for the amount that MCSK sent me 1,200, I have been paid way more than 100,000 by other royalty collecting companies. Not as see it in Ikona, like, so you're gonna 10 million views. They just know where to get your money. When it's being played, they collect for you, and they bring it. Yeah.
Awesome. That's refreshing to hear.
Yeah.
Sasa, what are the lessons that you've learned throughout this journey?
I've learned that you should be yourself. You should not be afraid of doing whatever you love. I realized that you should not have to, how would I put it? You should not have to conform to the way the industry tells you to do, you know? And then I've realized that people are getting tired of listening to the same things every day. Artists have to to keep reinventing themselves, which is something Jamaicans have mastered, and even people, even our friends from Nigeria have really mastered that art. Like they keep changing styles, sound. You won't hear the constant same sound every day. So even if it's dancehall, can you do dancehall that is probably so soft that it sounds like a classical, you know? Can you do something like that? Or are you just gonna do the you know, people get tired of that. And then also the people from the ones that actually invent dancehall, if they hear you singing like that, they say you're just fake, you know? At least where is the new thing? Where is the new thing? Is there that African instrument in there? Do you have some percussion that sounds unique? Because that's what makes people listen to it, you know? We have a rich culture. We have Egyptian culture. We have some scales, some musical scales that are not normal to what we listen to every day, you know. And then the music that we have done in Kenya has become so common that you hear this song and you just hear like it's the other song. So you're not even interested. You just like, you know, we have to.
Zote ziko tu sawa.
Yeah.
It's the same beat.
We can't do that.
Yeah.
You itafanya tu nini. That's why Itana, and that was really smart of her. When she did Pamoja, she went into Africa. The sounds in Pamoja are so African. You have percussions, you have some accordions, you have some very good things in there. And that is what actually, even the people that are doing the nominations at the Grammys, they look, like they listen. Is this, what is new about this? Like, that's the same old thing, you know? And then we have auto-tune, you know? If we really want to get somewhere, we have to learn how to sing, you know? People have to learn how to sing. So that, because I was listening to some reviewers talking about how they do the Grammy selection process. And one of them was listening to a song and was like, I think he played a song by Justin Bieber and he said, that doesn't sound human. Just change that. Played another song and he said, that sounds like a real person, like a real emotion. So we need to actually understand music. Yeah.
Do you write your own music?
Yes.
What is the thought process like? How do you go about it?
Vitu mingi unifanyikia daily. I have bad things and good things happening daily. And I mostly take my inspiration from such. Maybe I've been heartbroken. Maybe I've met someone that wants to deceive me. Sana mademu huleta inspiration sana. Nishai heartbreakiwa nikaandika 100 songs. That was one of my best period of writing actually.
Like literally 100 songs?
Yes. Hizo songs, trust me, hizo songs. Ile siku tu zitatoka hivi. It will change everything.
Umeandika songs ngapi in general? In total?
The ones that are recorded and mixed and mastered ready for radio zenye naweza kupatia ucheze kwa radio saizi ziko around 570 hapo. Zenye ziko ready for radio. Zenye ziko kwa computer hizo ni thousands. Recently, I remember my hard disk crashed and I lost 4,000 songs. About 6 years of my work. They're still trying to recover that. So I have thousands and thousands. Because I used to record 2 or 3 songs per day. Every day. And na mimi, God hakuwa anakosa kunipea inspiration ama shida.
So shida ikakuwa ni kama inspiration.
Yes.
Sasa, dancehall scene in Kenya, is it alive? Kuna dancehall artists?
Yeah, wako lakini sijui ni kina nani, lakini najua tu wako. I know they're there, but they're not, like, it's like they don't actually believe in what they're doing.
Or is it us who haven't embraced them?
I think it has to start from them. You know, sometimes, like, if people are pushing a car, like, it's not the car that will decide it will move. It's the people that will actually will push that car until it moves. So you can create a new wave of music. And I think I'm trying to do that right now because I have like 8 artists that I'm working with, signed to my label. And I'm trying to position them strategically so that everyone will cover a certain base. That when that force rises together, it can be the change of everything. And you see, once people see something, kitu mzuri, like it doesn't have to like kusukumwa sana.
Yeah.
People, you know, if you listen to them, you listen to Conscience, and Conscience is singing about dirty wine and all that, and then you listen to a Kenyan artist singing about dirty wine only in a watered down version of it. He can't even say the Jamaican words well. He hasn't even read the dictionary. You know, if you want to sing the patois, read the dictionary. They have a dictionary. Do it well. Like, don't look like just a stranger. You know. So if you do that, whether as a Kenyan listener, you'd rather listen to Conscience because you've heard this again. If Bundi starts singing like Wizkid, you'd rather listen to Wizkid, you know? So what is Bundi bringing? And that is a question I ask myself. What are you bringing? Because you're saying that, you're probably saying people are not listening to your sound, but do you really have a sound? Do you have a new sound? So I think that's what the artists are doing. Taking the beats from Jamaica, taking the sound from Jamaica, taking the sound from UK, and shaping it in a way that it seems like it's their own, but it really doesn't sound like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Quite profound. You've talked about a record label. Tell us about it.
I am blessed to own a label called Awesome Sounds Empire, which is where you are right now. Started this label 7 years ago, and it has been a label that has been dedicated to pushing my music, but now it has turned into a label that's meant to revolutionize the music industry in Kenya. I'm working with a couple of artists who are really good. Some are hip-hop artists, some are spoken word artists. And I'm trying basically to create like a universe of our own of music. I'm trying to crossbreed hip-hop and dancehall, but I'm doing it in an African way. I'm actually going into West Africa looking for the old sounds, going into Egypt looking for the scales, and basically trying to bring them now here to work with these artists. And I'm believing that, say, give us 5 years. Just give us 5. I wouldn't even say 10. Give us 5 years, and by then it will be a different story. We have to change this, man. Because you see, even the music industry, like the market in Kenya, if you listen to the songs that are being played, some of them, they don't even have a message. Like, music needs to communicate. You know, it needs to communicate something. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want all my artists to do. I don't work with artists that are singing things that don't make sense. I hear that, I don't let you into my studio. Mm. Yeah.
Wow, awesome. As we come to the end of this wonderful discussion, there's probably somebody who'd like to contact you. You can give out your social media handles and where the studio is located as well.
Yeah, for anyone that would like to reach us, we are located at Santon, Kasarani, and you can call the number 0111-955-923. That is our studio number. You can get here and we can talk about the music. My social media handles are Michael Bundi on Facebook, YouTube Michael Bundi, and on Instagram at Real Michael Bundi. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate, and we'll be back for more music.
I look forward to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a Grammy-nominated artist, Bundi. Kindly check his work out on YouTube. I have been your host, Juliet Modoni. Until next time, take care.